Hey everybody, this is Jen from ScanNCut Jam Sessions and ScanNCut Canvas and Scal Help on Facebook. What we're going to do today is we're going to go through this little doohickey. This is the universal pen tool adapter from Brother. And you know I made one for our machine too, but of course I don't have the access to this fancy stuff. So, alright, this is what it looks like. It has a little holder. Because when you put your pen in there, let's put this little doohickey in there, you want it to go down and touch so that when you put it in the machine, that's where it needs to be. Okay, gotta kind of be careful because this likes to slop around and fall over. So just hang on to it. There is this little gray part, okay, right here. You have to pull up on it and turn in order to tighten it, okay? So you pull up and you do that. Now, as you see, it's not going anywhere. You don't want this pen to move, okay? So that's not going anywhere. However, this is why I have an issue with this. Anybody that has limited dexterity in their hands is going to have a hard time using this. What you have to do is you have to grab it and you have to pull up. Did you see that, how I do that? Grab it kind of right here on this little part that sticks out and you have to pull up. Well, even for me with decent dexterity, it's kind of hard sometimes. Okay? And there's a little kind of notch down. That means it's fully open when your big thingy that sticks out here sits there. So this is what you have to do. You have to lift and turn. Alright, I wish that they would have just put a slide right here that you could just slide it across. Alright, would have been much easier and a lot less difficult. I mean, you get the point though. So people with limited dexterity are probably going to have issues using this. We'll see if there's a way to adapt it to be able to use it without having any increased pain. You know those jar opener things that you put on there and you squeeze? That is one way to be able to do it. So to just actually make a handle where you can squeeze it, pick up and turn it, that would be the best way to adapt it. Alright, so we have this one that fits. Does a good job. Okay. And this is the Marvy Artist Pen. Most all of these fit real well. The ones that don't is the Bics because of this right here. This fat part on the body. Won't go in this way and won't go in this way. And don't try to cram it in there. You'll just break your stuff. Okay? So let's try this one. Put your little pen tool in there. Lift as best you can. Okay, and see, oh, it's a little bit too big or too small. The pen is a little too small. Oh my goodness. Could have definitely had a little bit better design. So I'm going to grab something to wrap around this. Okay, so I have some masking tape here. This comes on the rolls of vinyl that I order. So it's just something free. So we'll put a gob of this on here. And in your instructions, it shows you like how to measure and stuff like that. Oh, with this thick stuff, I don't really need to measure. Because I know that when I stick it in there, it's going to be down where it needs to be. Okay. So let's take a look at this. Okay, there we go. Still a little slippery, but better than what it was. I can add, I might add another layer just to make it nice and snug. Because if you think about it, when the machine puts pressure, you don't want this to happen. Okay? So just go ahead and snug it up. Okay, so I put one more tiny little piece on there and it's magic. It works. Okay, it's not going anywhere. Alright, so now we know that with this, this is what that takes. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that on there because it can be kind of a pain to go ahead or to actually have to put tape on all that stuff. So when you have it done, just leave it on there if you can. Okay, and here's the actual instructions that show you like all of the stuff, the measurements and things like that, okay? But my suggestion, just get some wide masking tape because it's reusable and it works really, really well. Okay, and then two, you can also see, hopefully it shows up on here. I don't know if it will. Let me see. I'll try to get you in a little closer. Okay, there's the marks on there, so now you know from end to here that it's about halfway up on this pen is where the grabbers really sink in, so about right there. So that will help you when you're learning your machine. So then I know that all of these will fit, just not the Bic. Okay, you don't want anything that has like hips on a pen. You don't want anything like that. All right. Now, lots of people have asked, will it fit the ScanNCut 1, the first version? Yes, it will, and I'll show you. Let me turn it around here. Here's my first girl, my 100. Let me stick one of these little marker jobbies in here, get it all set up for you. Oh, push. But it's for all of the ScanNCuts. So you can use it on the 100, 250, 550, all of the ones overseas, which is like the 300 and the 600, I think, and then all of the new ones coming out. Okay, so we're going to put it in there just like that, all right, and then just stick the bail down and you're ready to go. All right, so let's go over to my 650 and see it in motion. Okay, so here we are, and remember, we put this in there and we took it all the way down to the bottom there so that we know that it has a proper measurement from where it sits to the paper. Okay, so let's bring our blade out and let's get this in here. Alright, so I'm going to come in here to my patterns and I'm going to pull up a draw pattern. Okay. Okay. Now, before I go doing any of the drawing, I need to come in here and make sure that my draw pressure and all of that is set properly. So you hit the wrench icon that is over here on this side. Sorry, the way my lighting is in this room, it's hard to see. My draw speed is a 4, my draw pressure is a -1. That's okay with me. I may actually take it down a smidge just because I don't want to crush the tip. Alright, if your pressure is really high, you can crush the tip of your pen tool, or of your pen, I'm sorry. Therefore, it'll kind of get, well, you know when you were younger and you broke all the tips of the markers you were using. They get kind of big and fat and they're not really cool anymore. Alright, so let's see how it goes. Yeah, looking pretty good. And this is a good way too to see if your ScanNCut needs to be calibrated, and not the screen calibration, but the adjustment of the cutting and scanning head. You will see if mine actually does. It seems like every 2 to 3 weeks mine needs to be readjusted, reset. Alright, so I'll come back when this is done. Okay, so here's the final product, and look at right there. Okay, so I've often wondered sometimes if you see how our head travels on that bar, if sometimes the bars don't get a little funky, maybe a little bent every now and then. But as you can see, it did not work right here, but that's okay. The pen tool works. I wish that they would have made it a little bit different, but hey, that's not up to me. I'm just a user. Alright guys, so that's the pen tool. If you have any questions, this is also going to be really good for you people that use the fabric markers. Like I had that huge set sitting out there, the tulip ones, the big long like 28 different colors. That works really well on fabric when you have to draw your lines on your fabric. Okay? Alright, if you have any questions, you can find me over at ScanNCut, Canvas, and Scal Help on Facebook. You guys have a great day.